Imagine a sport where a single mistake costs millions, where every second is engineered, where the world watches again and again, not just for the racing, but for the drama, the brands, and the power. Formula One is the fastest sport on Earth, but behind the speed is something even bigger, a global business machine worth billions. Welcome to Rise of Giants. Today, we're breaking down how Formula One became a money-printing empire, how it earns, how teams survive, and why F1 is trending harder than ever. For decades, Formula One was elite and dangerous, a sport for the brave and the rich. But the modern F1 didn't become massive by accident. At some point, it stopped behaving like just a sport and started behaving like a product. A product needs three things: distribution, storytelling, and repeat attention. F1 expanded distribution through worldwide broadcast and streaming deals. It built storytelling through rivalries and legends: Senna versus Prost, Schumacher's dominance, Hamilton's era, and today's new generation fighting to rewrite history. And it created repeat attention with a long season, constant upgrades, new tracks, and new controversies. Formula One isn't a single event. It's a year-round content engine. So how does Formula One actually make money? First, media rights. F1 sells broadcasting and streaming deals across the world. Live sports is premium entertainment, and it's one of the few things people still watch in real time. So advertisers pay attention. Second, hosting fees. Here's what many people don't realize. Cities and countries pay huge amounts just to host a Grand Prix. Why? Because hosting F1 is like buying global marketing. Tourism spikes, hotels fill up, and the city's brand travels worldwide. That's why you see street circuits, night races, and new destinations. F1 isn't just racing on the track, it's selling prestige. Third, sponsorship. F1 cars are moving billboards. From tech companies to airlines to luxury brands, every logo is a business deal. And F1's audience is valuable, global, high income, and obsessed. Fourth, premium experiences. Formula One is not trying to be cheap. VIP paddocks, corporate hospitality, exclusive access. Everything is designed to feel like luxury. Because F1 doesn't only sell to fans, it sells to executives. Now, here's the shocking part. With all this money, you'd think every team is swimming in profit. But Formula One is one of the most expensive industries on Earth. Teams spend on aerodynamics, wind tunnels, simulations, factories, engine development. Top engineers, top drivers, and traveling across the planet with tons of equipment. For years, the richest teams dominated, while smaller teams were stuck in survival mode. That's why the budget cap changed everything. F1 basically realized if spending runs wild, the sport becomes predictable. If it becomes predictable, fans leave. If fans leave, sponsors leave. And then the business collapses. So the budget cap wasn't just a sport rule. It was a business decision to protect the ecosystem. More competition means more excitement. More excitement brings more viewers. And more viewers means more money. Now let's talk about why F1 is trending so hard right now. Because in today's world, the biggest currency isn't speed, it's screen time. Formula One became a content powerhouse. Behind-the-scenes access, team radio, driver personalities, social media clips, and story-driven coverage that turns every weekend into an episode. When people get emotionally invested, they don't just watch races, they pick sides. They argue online. They bring friends in. That's how a sport becomes a culture. F1 turned drivers into characters, teams into brands, and races into chapters of a larger story. And each team is basically a high-tech company, an engineering startup competing under extreme pressure. They innovate faster than most industries. They test relentlessly. They fail publicly. And they're judged every weekend. The best teams aren't just fast, they're efficient. Because in Formula One, performance becomes profit. Winning means more prize money, more sponsors, more brand value, and better talent. That's why some teams are now worth over $1 billion. Because they're not just teams. They're global businesses with loyal audiences. So yes, Formula One is about speed, but the real race is bigger. It's the race for attention, the race for global influence, the race to turn engineering into entertainment, and entertainment into billions. And that's why Formula One isn't just trending, it's rising like a giant. If you enjoyed this breakdown, subscribe to Rise of Giants, because the biggest stories in the world aren't only about who wins, they're about who builds the empire. See you in the next one.